सर नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल, गुड आफ्टरनून, प्रणाम। डॉक्टर टुटेजा टॉक शो के प्रिय दर्शकों, नमस्कार। आज का टॉक शो भारत के सम्मानीय गुरुजी डॉक्टर M.K.C. नायर एवं उनके शिष्य के बीच एक संवाद है। मैं इस शो में उम्मीद करता हूं कि हम हमारे गुरुजी के बारे में बहुत कुछ जानने की कोशिश करेंगे। दुनिया का हर शिष्य अपने गुरु के प्रति सम्मोहन एवं भावनाओं से ओतप्रोत होता है। गुरु तो गुरु ही होता है, सागर की तरह गहरा एवं गुणी। जब भी वह अपने शिष्यों को रूबरू होता है तो अपनी दूरदर्शिता का एक हीरा आपके हाथ में गुरु प्रसाद सरीका रख देता है। ऐसे ही हमारे गुरु हैं डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर M.K.C. नायर सर। सर एक ऐसे गुरु हैं जिन्होंने अपनी दूरदृष्टि से सपनों को शिष्यों के साथ साझा किया और उनकी जिंदगी को नया आयाम दिया। अडोलसेंट हेल्थ एकेडमी, जो हमारे गुरुओं की महिमा की एक बुलंद इमारत है, आज एक संपूर्ण संस्था है। आपको इस संस्था बनाने में योगदान के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। मैंने इतने वर्षों में सर को काफ़ी नज़दीक से जानने की कोशिश की, परंतु ऐसा मुझे लगता है कि मेरे हिस्से में सागर की कुछ लहरें ही मेरे को मिली। मैं पूरी तरह अभी भी जान नहीं पाया। संस्थाओं में बहुत प्रभावशाली गुरु आते हैं और चले जाते हैं, परंतु हम सभी डॉक्टर M.K.C. नायर सर को कभी भुला नहीं पाएंगे, क्योंकि उन्होंने जीवन में इतिहास रचा है। एवरीवन प्रेज द अचीवमेंट, बट टू अचीव इन लाइफ इज नॉट दैट इजी। दोस्तों, मैं कुछ चंद लफ्जों में अपनी भावनाओं को सर के बारे में व्यक्त करना चाहूँगा। दोस्तों, मुश्किलों से भागना आसान होता है। हर पहलू जिंदगी का इम्तिहान होता है। डरने वालों को कुछ नहीं मिलता जिंदगी में, और लड़ने वालों के कदमों में जहां होता है। यही हमारी HA की पहचान है। आइए सर के बारे में जाने कुछ स्लाइड्स के माध्यम से। डॉक्टर टुटेजा टॉक शो। A person who is foresighted is Dr. Professor M.K.C. Nair is DSC। एक संवाद अपने गुरु के साथ। प्रोफेसर M.K.C. नायर सर इज DSC, PhD, MD, DCH, M मेडिसिन साइंस ऑस्ट्रेलिया, MBA, HM, MA फिलोसफी, MA, MC and J, PG डिप्लोमा इन काउंसलिंग एंड अल्ट्रासोनोग्राफी, FNN, FIAP, FIACAM and FAMS. Lot of qualification to his credit. Vice Chancellor 2014 to 2019, Kerala University of Health Sciences. Professor Emeritus, Kerala University Health Sciences. Emeritus Professor Allied Health, Developmental Behavior and Adolescent Pediatrics, and Founder Director of CDC Kerala, from where I was also trained. Director, NIMS Spectrum Child Development Center, Research Center, NIMS Medicity, Thiruvananthapuram. Achievement of Dr. Professor M.K.C. Nair. Professor M.K.C. Nair is currently the Professor Emeritus in Developmental Behavior and Adolescent Pediatrics in Child Development Center and is the Vice Chancellor of Kerala University of Health Sciences. His effort in bringing up the center as autonomous center of excellency in early child care and education, adolescent care and education, premarital counseling, women welfare and associate field is indescribable. His term as a founder director of the center was from its inception in 1987 till October 2014, and the later, considering his academic excellency and professional contribution, he was offered the position of Vice Chancellor and prestigious Kerala University of health sciences. He is a renowned academician in the field of clinical child development and pediatrics. Dr. Nair was National President of Indian Academy of Pediatrics in year 2004, Indian Clinical Epidemiology Network 2005 to 2007, Neonatology Forum in 2011 to 2012. Life journey of Dr. M.K.C. Nair. Just see him as a child, as a teenager. Probably this second photograph of Dr. M.K.C. Nair probably was a inspiration to bring the adolescent into the field, in the medical field. A beautiful couple was a chancellor. There are the little photographs. Felicitation in 2025, which I attended in Kerala. We have the neurodevelopmental chapter 2025. President Dr. Vasant Kalatkar and team and chapter personalities were there. Dr. Nair, M.K.C. Nair with grandchildren and happy President-elect Dr. Neelam Mohan 2026 is a blessing in my life. I was a common pediatrician in my life. And when I met in 2003 to him in Gwalior, International Adolescent Con, probably that was a turning point in my life. And I became his student and he is my guru. Since then, I am with him and he is a blessing in my life, and I am really proud of him that I am with him. Blessing of books to the country, so many books by him written in all these years. Probably I don't know how he gets time for the family from all this curriculum which he has got all the time around. Our aim of life, Dr. Tuteja Talk Show, is to update the society. If you like, subscribe channel. Your suggestion, comments are always welcome. कुछ चंद सवाल जो सभी नहीं जानते वो आप ही हमें बता सकते हैं. We knew M.K.C. Nair, sir, as a doyen of developmental pediatrics and adolescent pediatrics with a student across the country. So many students now from 2004 onward in the country. Kindly tell us your childhood and any incidents which triggered you to take this profession.
Dr. Tuteja is my senior most student, and I am proud about that. So I call him my guru also. My childhood was from a small village near in Kerala, and we were a big family of 11. So there was a very pleasant childhood. Not too much of money, but there was a lot of happiness in the life. And there, few things I learned from my mother and father. Whatever I am today, primarily is because of my parents. And I think this is what we should also tell our, present day generation. You learn so much from your parents. My mother was actually so gentle and kind-hearted person. I always say, those days, getting a cake in the house is a rarity because you have to go to a town to get a cake. And if you get the cake, I once complained, why am I not getting the first piece? So mother said, you have the right to take it. My servant girl doesn't have the right. So she should be given first. That is one lesson I learned from her life. You should think about people who are not able to fight for their thing. And that is one reason I always talk about my students who actually had the pity of the teacher. So that should not happen. Number two is, of course, my father, who, in spite of all the problems, with so many children studying in college, he was upright in his principles. Never go deviate, whatever right. So these two things I have imbibed. That is the whole sum total of my childhood. And plus, My brothers all influenced me so much. In fact, each one supported the next one. By the time it came to my turn, there was nobody below me, so I could not support. Thank you, sir.
Really, your family and my family is not much different. You are 11 brothers, sister, and we were 9. And we are also 6 brothers.
9.
So I learned so many things from my mother and father. And as we came from the divided India to Indore, so that definitely there was no money in the hand, and we had to fight to live in. I know that your Anganwadi was very high in your choice in early life care, child care, and education practice. It is because you belong to a large family of 11 children eligible to have an Anganwadi in your compound.
So, jokingly, I used to say that my house is like an Anganwadi because so many children. But practically, it was not because of that I got fond of Anganwadi. The reason why I got fond of Anganwadi is because this is one place, all the principle that we teach in the college, in the classroom, is actually practice. You think of how do children learn? A small child learn by seeing, hearing, and experiencing. All 3 type of learning. So this actually happens in the Anganwadi because they do action song. Action song means you hear somebody singing and dancing, you see it, and also you participate in that. So naturally the child will have so much of stimulation for development. That is the most important part. Secondly, we have done studies on Anganwadis as against so-called sophisticated preschools. If you go to the private sophisticated preschool, the facilities are too much there. Anganwadi facilities are not so good, but the quality of the teacher is unimaginable. The study really showed that they are much, much superior to so-called high-level teachers. And the third one is, the biggest advantage is there is no rule and regulation unnecessary. When a child comes from home, he has so much to share. He has so much share, and the teacher is willing to hear that. Whereas in a school, they'll say, keep quiet, keep quiet. You talk when I ask you to talk. No, nothing like that. Children are free to roam around. Children are free to make friendship. Children are free to do anything. And that helps a lot. And particularly for autism children. I always, whenever I have an autism child, I always tell them this is the only place where you get free of cost children of the same age to play with. Why I'm saying is because a PhD has shown that my assistant, the previous director of CDC, Dr. Babu George, his PhD was saying that if you 20 times more chance for autism if you don't have children of the same age to play with. And the only place where you can get that children free of cost whole day, at least 6 hours a day, is Anganwadi. So for me, Anganwadi is the greatest institution. In fact, this is the greatest thing that has happened in Indian childhood. And WHO has recognized ICDS as one of the 7th, important institution in the world. So I think this is important to listen to Anganwadi workers and because they understand children better.
So it is a practical school actually. You can learn everything practical in the Anganwadi.
Yeah.
So my next question is, sir, you had your medical education training in CMC Ludhiana. I'm taking you back to Ludhiana.
Yeah, I know.
Do you see that the CMC experience as having influenced your life mission itself? CMC
See,
Ludhiana.
after talking about my family, I think whatever I am indebted to is CMC Ludhiana. There's not a single lecture where I don't talk about CMC Ludhiana. The reason being, as a 18-year-old boy, I reached there all scared because Punjab is so far away from Kerala. But the campus was superb. It really taught us how to live together comfortably without grudge. And the one place where I learned so much, understood Punjabis as such. You know, that three good qualities I found in them. One, hardworking. Second, so hardworking, unbelievably hardworking. If you have a little facility in the behind the house, they will make a small workshop there. So that hardworking, the willingness to come forward is something which you need to emulate. And third, of course, is the affection they show for the 4Gs, the army. And I was part of the 71 war. I was there. I was doing my first year MBBS. And I know the roadside, army truck goes, every female, so many ladies come and just throw food packet, drinks, whatnot. They're really affectionate to the army because they support them, their livelihood, the whole life is dependent on that. And third, of course, is the so much of agriculture progress, which of course recent past there have been some problem, but still at my time, jokingly I will say this is one place where I get chicken, tandoori chicken, so cheap. That is my one memory of CMC from that point of view. But otherwise, CMC is a Christian institution. All principles were for the God. My work is for a king. That's what they say. But the king may be called any name you call, but it's a God only. Okay, and I'm a very God-fearing person or God-loving person. So to me, that was a very, very comfortable stay. 10 years doing MBBS, DCH, MD. And even today, I remember just last month, I organized the oration in the name of the Professor of Medicine, Dr. Mary Matthew, late Dr. Mary Matthew, because she didn't teach me, but I had so much learned from her. So that's the most important part of CMC is something which make a man out of you. That's what I'd say.
Wow. So it was a great experience of your. You learned so many things, and you see the courageous people who are devoted to the country. Hello.
Yeah, I think one more thing I must add. That is, if you, particularly for Sardajis, I have found, if you request them for a help and they promise to look after you, they will do anything to keep that promise. That is something great, whether it is a man or a woman or a girl. I always say, if you ask them, a girl goes and say, Bhaiya, protect me. Once he gives the word protect, then you cannot touch the girl without even killing him. So that sort of, admiration I have for Punjabis, particularly Sardajis. That is true.
Sir, we go further. You came from Kerala to Ludhiana in a vulnerable age of 18. Has Punjabi influenced you in your future career plans?
Yeah, Punjab and Punjabis influence because my closest friends were Punjabis. That is something. Very close friends were all Punjabis. Of course, the boys and girls from Kerala used to call me brother, bhaiya, all that. That is okay. That is because of different kind of affection. But the close contact actually helped me to learn Hindi, learn Punjabi very well, understand Punjabi. Even now, when you have a program on Punjabi channels, I always try to listen to it in between because the vulnerable age 18 to 28 when I was there, or 18 to 29, 10 years, that is the most important age of your life, and that really put ideas into your mind. Not only there's a lot of Christian influence one side, that is more religious, on the other side learning how to learn. The CMC taught me three things. One, of course, you do anything in the name of the God. Okay? Patient is vulnerable. They are the God. Patient is the God. Secondly, also to respect nurses. That is one place I found so much respect for nurses. And the third, of course, is you take life as it is. Don't sit and cry, cry, cry. I never seen a beggar in Punjab. The only place in India where I have known. Delhi also you may see, but not Punjab. I never seen because I think the philosophy is that if you can't do anything, it's not worth living. That sort of philosophy. I think
Yeah.
these all have influence, put strong elements in my mind. And even now, I remember, relish all this. Every talk I try to say one or two good words about it because it's not just to praise anybody, but because it comes from inner heart.
I think that going to Punjab, CMC Ludhiana, uh, it was easier for you to learn Hindi and Punjabi and to become the president of Indian Academy of Pediatrics
Yeah.
because the Hindi speaking from the South India candidates, the aspirant, they get difficulty in talking into Hindi and to get the support to become the president of Indian Academy of Pediatrics. But I think that you had uh, no such problem because you were fluent in Hindi and Punjabi, English, and definitely other languages. So that was very easy. When I saw you where you were contesting and you came to Indore that time and you talked about the family life education in one of the session.
Yeah.
So that
Oh,
that really
yeah.
influenced me. And then I met you in 2003 in Gwalior.
Yeah.
I heard from you that your interest in child guidance and child development started at CMC Ludhiana. Can you tell us more about it, particularly your MD thesis on congenital anomalies in newborns?
See, like any other student, when you are doing MBBS, you are confused what to take, what not to take, what is important. But one thing I was clear, I wanted to help do child guidance. Because when there is a problem with a child with behavior problem in the OP, I used to send to the psychiatry OP, which is next to my where we are staying, the fourth floor of the building. Half is for doctors to stay, the other half for psychiatry, OP, and clinic. So when I go for lunch, I just talk with the psychologist, talk with the doctor, what happened to the child I sent in the morning. There may not be too much time to do all that because you have to go back to work. But still, that put my earliest experience in child guidance came from there. As well as I had a good chance to counsel two of my colleagues, friends, or classmates, or just one junior. One happened to be a male, one happened to be a female. But that taught me a whole lot of things. In fact, my whole concept about girls changed after I did that counseling. Because, somebody who is dressing modern, I always think maybe a bad girl. But after this experience, I realized they are not bad girls, they're just dressing differently. Coming from Kerala, that time, it was really, you are not used to seeing girls dressing like this. But that doesn't mean anything. CMC taught you that you can dress the way you like, you can walk around the way you like, you can talk the way you like. But what is important is who you are, what you are. That's the most important point.
Yeah.
And now also I believe that is true.
So to proceed further, my friend at Set Hospital Medical College Trivandrum say that as a youngster, you were wonderful pediatrician and clinician. How come you shifted your focus to less relatively unknown subject of child development and adolescence?
Tell you frankly, when I was doing MD pediatrics, at that time itself, I had the idea of a child development center. I wanted to make the first child development center in India. I didn't know much about it, but I heard something from Australia and all that. But then what happened was, when I came to Trivandrum, my boss, Dr. Elsie Philip, at that time, I said, "Are you interested in anything particularly?" I said, "Child guidance." She said, "Please take, there's one child guidance which is not functioning properly because nobody is really interested. Only a psychiatrist come once in a week." I said, yes, madam, I'll take it up. And I believe I have seen more than 85,000 children in the last 45, 46 years. And the first 5 years itself, we had seen almost huge number. And I had published also historical conversion reaction, 500 cases. That is the largest in the world literature. Because at that time, my interest was conversion reaction, historical conversion reaction. From there, slowly I shifted to child development. That's how I started, became interested in child development. Because counseling, when you do, you realize that you are already late. So many things could have been done to this child earlier. So I started child development. And from child development, naturally, when you do child development clinic, you realize already child is 2.5 years, 3 years. What we could have done something better early. And that point, I was actually at that time I was working in neonatology. I was very well trained in neonatology by Dr. Rajarani Pava in CMC Ludhiana and Manorama Verma in pediatrics and late Sheila Singh Paul as the head of department. And my teachers were really those whom I admired was, of course, Dr. Mehban Singh, Dr. O.N. Baku, Dr. S. Manjanta, who was my examiner, whole lot of things, Amrita professor. So what happened is that atmosphere gave me an idea. Why not you start, neonatology, take to a different idea, not just go like everybody else. Actually, when I came, most people told me, why don't you take cardiology, neurology? I said, so what? If I take, what will happen? Chitra Center is next. I'll be nobody. Why do I want to follow somebody's path, beaten path? Why I will take my own path? That's how I said from neonatology, I thought I will branch off to neurodevelopmental follow-up, and that's how the child development came. The center came from the project, started on 1st of August 1987.
I think these all the dignitaries you came in CMC, Ludhiana, in your life has reflected your life, and you have become such a famous, recognizable, and admirable teacher in India.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have read an article in Indian Pediatrics CDC Kerala, the untold story that you started with the child guidance clinic and developmental clinic and then child developmental center. Can you elaborate a sequence of the events?
No, actually, tell you frankly, I was invited to give a talk on this subject in All India Institute. And that time, Dr. I.C. Verma was there. And he said, hey, you have done so much. I can't believe it. Why not put it all together? We will put an article in the journal. I said, sir, it's so small thing to put in the journal. He said, no, don't think like that. Such small step only become bigger thing. So then I put all this idea, how we started from nothing. Actually, I got only 50,000 rupees as seed money for the project. Next year, I got 50,000 more, 1 lakh rupees the investment for CDC. And then for 1 or 2 years, I was supporting the project on from my own fund, my own salary. And then suddenly, government took it over. And once the government came in, money was not a big problem. So then the whole CDC started. We started the development therapy course in 95. Developmental therapy 2 year, that time it was diploma, later on it became PG diploma, and now all those people are taking high posts in many child development centers, and the whole concept of child development center has spread to the whole country. Of course, there are negative points, there are many that I am not bothered right now. Right now, the concept has spread, and those days when I joined, it was diarrhea, respiratory infection, malnutrition, all were the topic of the day. But now, after so many years, a hospital cannot survive without a neurodevelopment follow-up or child development center. It has become so important, and I am glad about it.
Sir, I understand that You grow with your babies as a neonatologist, developmental pediatrician, adolescent pediatrician, and now youth counselor. What is was it is a smooth transition?
No, it's a very simple thing. I started as a neonatologist. Then when the child was growing, 1 or 2 years, he had to do development. And then you had to do preschool education. I published a book on that also. IAP Committee on Preschool Education I was chairing. Then from preschool, you have gone to school children. Then the focus was more on what do you call the learning disability, learning issues, etc. Then it became adolescents because I had to go with my child. My children were growing. The first follow-up of 1,000 babies were growing. As they become adolescent, I also had to become adolescent pediatrician. And then for 5, 8 years that went on, and then they became over 19, they become young adults. And that's the time when I became Vice Chancellor of the Kerala University of Health Sciences in 2014. And that gave me a great opportunity to work with young adults because I had over 1 lakh students, 264 colleges. So it's a huge establishment. So in fact, 326 colleges. So we had all sort of branches. So I did 2, 3 things for the student. And the most important thing is student guidance and support cell. Student guidance and support cell means every college will have a trained male, female teacher to whom every student can talk about their personal problems, any emotional issues, any behavior problem, anything they can discuss with 100% confidentiality. We select only such people. And then nowhere in the world you will see a vice chancellor going to every district, one district every month with some psychologists and experts and listen to all these teachers about the cases they have not been able to solve. For example, one particular year will have about around 1,000 children. So we discuss that opinion of experts is taken. I give my own opinion and they go back and do it. So this process happened for 4 years. Maybe the first year I didn't start, so second year. So that means 4 years Vice Chancellor we did it. That was a great learning lesson. Okay. And during the adolescent period, that was the most important. The adolescent period, we had the opportunity of really seeing almost 12,000 school children in great depth, including reproductive health, mental health, life skill education, all that. Whole thing has been published in Indian Pediatrics. That gave the beginning. In fact, what I remember best was one of the important finding was there was no good toilet facilities in most of the government schools. And this was taken up by government seriously, particularly because it affects the girls. And now you can say every school has proper toilet. Every government school has proper toilet. Maybe that is one achievement I will say what they have. Yeah.
Sir, it must have been a great effort building in CDC in Kerala and center in India and raising a center in excellency. Do you regret anything in this long journey?
So regret is a word I don't like. I never regret anything. In fact, the latest book I wrote, I said I thank not only those who have helped me all throughout my life, but I also thank those who have been against me for nothing. Because it is your going against me that gave me the energy to go. At any cost, I will manage it.
Definitely.
So that's the thing. No regret at all. Because I think whatever I dreamt of, I have managed. And best thing that happened in that CDC is I became also into the Kerala University, General Kerala University, chairing the Health Science Division. And that is the opportunity when I started 7 courses, PG diploma in pediatric, developmental pediatric, development neurology, adolescent, counseling, research methodology, whatnot. So that is how you could create at least more than 10,000 students across the country who are actually now leading developmental pediatricians and adolescent pediatricians. What more you want in life? At the end of the day, you only want to say, look at each one. And the best thing is, each of my students are doing better than me now. Every talk when I give, I always say, today also, 3 o'clock, there's a program, adolescent program going on. And I was invited, but I said, sir has called me, already I have committed, so can't do it. So that is good. They still remember you. They encourage you. Even if I don't make great contribution, they still say, sir, you are great. You know that they are much better than me, but still they will say, sir, you are great. Okay, that is the way we do. Our, UKG, LKG teacher, even now we adore them. Not that we have not grown beyond them. We have grown beyond them, but still that. And two people I must mention here who has influenced me a lot. Actually, Dr. Santosh Bhargava. Dr. Santosh Bhargava, I have learned from Dr. Santosh Bhargava how to be flamboyant speaker. And every time I used to go to Bombay to listen to him, I have learned from Dr. Baku how to be a very serious, simple, sincere, teacher. And from Merban Singh, I've learned how to become, really, really put it across without confusion. Whatever you want to say, clearly, clarity, with clarity, you put it across. There are lots of other people who have come big way in my life. But, these three especially has influenced me so much. And that's why what I am today. Dr. Jayam, for example, community, late Dr. Jayam in Chennai, who actually influenced me in doing the community neonatology, community programs. So lots of people.
But I am influenced by you.
The teachers actually, teachers influence you without they realizing it.
You have really changed my life.
That is very, and one more thing I must say, I have become so student friendly because of one professor, Professor Eggleston of surgery. I remember the incident when I was third year. Every third year student doing pathology will have some cancer. I also had a swelling in the neck. I went to the PG. He said, no, you have to show to boss, big boss. Boss has 14 professors as his students. But he said, but quietly he saw me. He just said, everything is okay. Don't worry. Tomorrow we'll do the surgery. I said, so sir, I have to inform parents. I am your parent. Don't worry about it. And unbelievable the way he told me. Otherwise, I never liked him so much because I thought he's, typical American style. I thought he's arrogant or something. But after this incident, completely changed. In fact, I got admitted in the hospital. Halfway through, I went, told the teacher, the nurse, that I'm going for a movie of Mushmi Chatterjee. She as a blind girl, because I want to see. She said, I said, how do you know I will be able to see it after the surgery? Because when you say surgery, at that age, at tender age, you think it's some big thing. And the boss had come, and I asked the nurse, did he say anything? He said, no, nothing. He said, but 8 o'clock he came back. He didn't say anything about my going or anything, just held my hand and said, tomorrow morning, 6:30, I'll be here. I'll be holding your hand when you give the anesthesia in a pre-anesthetic. And he was there. And in the theater, he just put a nick. It was thyroid swelling. It was only a huge cyst. Just put a nick, the whole fluid went out. It became okay. And he put a scalpel on the table and started dancing. And I think you can't forget such a teacher. That is why I adore each of my students, because the way I have been treated so royally, without parents even knowing that I am going for a surgery. That much risk he took. He said, I am your parent. So I am a parent for all the students.
Now the things are changed. Most developmental pediatrician and adolescent pediatrician in India, including myself, are here because of PG diploma in adolescent program you started under University of Kerala. Was it a calculated strategy or just happened like that?
No. Simple thing is, the first few years we spent going around the whole country teaching family life education. Okay. And I particularly remember one incident in Baroda where I went to 8 schools with the, pediatrician accompanying me. So every school I had to use a different strategy. They will think that, same joke cannot be told because they will be get bored. So that probably developed. That's the first stage of family life education. In fact, instead of saying sex education, we made it family life education.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
next stage was setting up teenage clinic. So the one 1999, the first one I did in Trivandrum, many places they started teenage clinic, which is in the private sector, not necessarily in the government sector. We had teenage program, we had a teenage screen questionnaire, etc. Simple things to do. From there, the growth of the both these branches have been phenomenal, and that is only because they were given degree by a university. It was purposeful, planned, and premeditated, because any amount of training will not be useful in India. Abroad, it's different. UK, you don't need all this. US, you may not need all this. But in India, without a degree, nobody accepts you as a specialist. So the Kerala University gave me that opportunity, and so many batches from, how many years now? You can remember, probably you were the third batch or something, if I remember.
First batch, first batch,
First batch, yeah,
first batch,
first batch.
2004.
So from there you can see how many people have got trained, and they are all on their own, because they have the degree of a university. That is a premeditated, purposeful thinking only to do it. Any amount of training certificate will not help.
2004 was very important
Yeah,
because you started this PGDAP and you became the president of IAP.
IAP also.
Yeah, I know. And I know that I remember that we were attending classes with Babu Jaj, and you were in probably in Chennai to take
Yeah.
over as a president.
But I came back, the last day I came back, in the hotel, we had a big session.
Big
And Dr.
session.
Sabi Bhave also attended that,
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
remember correct.
That is,
It was a whole
and,
lot of people. That
and
is
the guests
great.
from the US also were there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
US.
yeah. You know, you you are known to be a student-friendly vice chancellor. Did you did your background as a pediatrician and adolescent pediatrician help you in any way for this?
See, if I was a successful vice chancellor, which I believe I was, because recently, Sri A.K. Antony, who was the defense minister, former chief minister of Kerala, I happened to meet him, and he told me one thing only. He said, "Congratulations." I said, "For what, sir?" Because you manage a university 5 years, because without even one word coming in the newspaper, unnecessary word in the newspaper. How did you manage? I said, "Sir, because," of course, jokingly I said, "Sir, because I was your student only," sort of. He was chairman of my CDC. So I learned from you. You are my guru, that's why. But apart from that, the reason why was I was able to manage students without problem. I just give one example. The biggest problem a vice chancellor has in a medical university is students will come and complain, "Sir, I failed for 1 mark. I failed
Hmm.
for 1 mark."
Mark.
But immediately it's not 1 mark, they fail for 6 marks. But if you get one more mark, they'll get 5 marks, allowance, sort of. So what do I do? How can I? VC has so much power, but he has no power to give a quarter mark. He can't give mark. But very often what happens is double valuation we have. So teachers, if it is single valuation, the teacher, what they normally do is either they pass or they give 2-3 marks less, so that the child will not complain. But here is a double mark, so both give borderline, it will become like half a mark less, 1 mark less. So that's not a problem. What do? I only tell them, "Better, this is the problem. This is the rules." As a VC, I cannot break the rule, because that's my first thing. I will not break a rule. But then what you do is you go to so and so persons. Tell me, is there any way I can bypass the rule? There must be simple ways of bypassing the rule on some pretext or other. 3 days later, they'll come, "Sir, I have gone to everywhere, discussed with everybody. There's no choice, there's no chance." So what has happened is, I didn't say I won't do it for you. I only showed my helplessness. You help me to help you. This is a counseling approach. You help me to help you. My intention is to help you, but I am tied. My hands are tied because by rule, by law, I can't do it. So they understand. don't have any problem. This is extremely important lesson I learned from there. Another incident I remember is one parent brought a child, student who failed all the three subjects. Okay, and he was a very God-fearing, God-loving person. So the moment he said he has failed all the three, I gave me a congratulations. So I failed all the three. Why congratulate? I said, because now that you have failed, those who have passed, they will be enjoying and doing all sort of things. But you will sit and study once more. It will help you for your PG entrance exam. Okay? And that really worked. I really talked to him how it helped in your clinical posting as well as PG this thing. So instead of saying negative, that I lost, I failed, I am unfortunate, all that, he said, and he's a very hard believer. So I said, God has helped you to do that. And I told him the story also. I lost admission, MBBS admission in Trivandrum. I thought I am the most unhappy, unlucky person in the life. But then God put me next year in CMC, and now what I have become. So this is the exact thing that happened. This is a counseling approach. So only
God
if you have a
decided.
counseling approach, you will do this.
It is decided by the God that where you to send you
Yeah.
in life.
And also, dealing students, you have to use little bit of counseling skill.
Yeah.
They never we have any strike in my university, but once for whatever reason some students came, so we want to do the strike. I said, yes, you should do. This is only when if you don't learn it now, when are you going to learn? Do the strike. Where are you going to do it? In front. It's all glasses, hot sun. But you will get burnt. Why don't you go behind? Because there is a casualty of the medical college. Okay, everybody. I said, have you arranged a media? No. I said, what is the fun? Nobody is going to see it. What is the fun of doing strike? Then suddenly I asked, now it's already 3 o'clock. Better have you eaten something? No, sir, we are hungry. I said, okay, arrange food for so many people. The cost is so little, but the gesture has made the whole thing different. After they eat my food, naturally they cannot do strike against me. So they said, okay, sir, can you sign, can we take a photograph of we giving the memorandum to you and all? I said, why not? Take it. They all went back happily. But of course, I told them when you go home, you should tell the friends and all, okay, we literally bulldozed the vice chancellor to get the result, but nothing happened. So children you can always manage children in a very positive way. Not everybody. There will be very bad elements, but that I can't. I'm saying medical students by and large are very, very different from ordinary colleges. They can be managed with little bit of counseling skill.
Yeah. So you are a renowned teacher, clinician, and trained researcher. Which out of this do you enjoy the most and why?
Sir, I have just completed 50 years as a teacher. In fact, 1977, January 1st, I was officially became a pediatric teacher. So it's 50 years now. Teaching is my biggest thing. You won't believe. You had actually yesterday when you called, you told me, don't be tired. You should look fresh and all that. Do you know that from morning 9 till 1 o'clock continuously I was doing teaching. I was feeling so tired after that. So I took some coffee and all that, had little food, and then come back for this program. Because they are psychology students who have come from another city. I had to do it because today is the only day when I have a little more free time. So continuously, at 3 sessions, we had a session. So students are my first priority, but doesn't mean that I don't enjoy the patients. I do enjoy the patients. But students remember you so much more than your own patients. However much you do for the patient, they soon, after the matter is over, they forget. But the students, particularly the boys, I must say, not the girls. Girls are very nice to you when they are with you. But even at that age, the boys will behave as if we are in a loggerheads. They don't look at you, they don't smile at you, all that. But 10 or 15 years later, when they see you, they come running to you and say, sir, you have taught me this, you have taught me this. So nothing like students. In fact, there's a joke. Somebody asked me, sir, why you want to do, why are you crazy about making everybody do PhDs? So I said, when I am lying, last leg, then, lying dead in simple words, body is lying there. I said, I'm not going to get a, gun salute and something. I'm not going to get that. At least there should be some PhD people around me. What a credit for you, even as a gone person. Joking. It's all joke. But it has a meaning. It has a meaning. The people around me should should be qualified PhD holders. That's very important. That is the greatest respect you can get as a teacher. And that I have made actually so many people get PhD in different subjects.
Mm-hmm.
So students, number one, number two will be the patient, and number three will be, of course, the family. I have ignored family a lot, but fortunately, she's so kind and sweet that she never complains. In fact, there were days when she used to call me and say, "Are you in Delhi or Bombay?" No idea for that also. Every weekend, I used to be traveling. Not now. Now, of course, I don't travel at all, or only on this one. But those days, what I was saying was, my wife has no ambition for herself except her children, but she really enjoy my success. And she always support me, never interfere in any of my things. But there's a passive support which is so good. Okay, you have seen her, so you understand what I'm saying. So this is also important. This is also important. Unless you have a happy home, unless you have a person who trusts you, who adores you and really want you to grow, you cannot do all this. Because there was a time when every weekend I was traveling. Every weekend I was traveling. Not now. Now, of course, I don't travel. But those days, she used to manage the home, she used to manage the children. Everything was done without any problem. So that's a great thing. That's why your partner has, whether it's wife or husband, your support of the partner is crucial. Support of the partner is so crucial for success of anybody. And even at this age, I'm getting it. That's why I'm working from 9 to 4. Okay. So that probably without any holiday, I'm working. That is possible because family is safe. Family is clear. Family has no problem. Then why not you do it?
You have a simple, quiet family, as I have seen Bhabiji and your grandchildren. How do you find time for the family and academic work, particularly sitting throughout the webinars, around the week, around the month, around the year?
The only problem with the webinar is I sit in front of the place where the TV is there. That sometimes become a little problem for her because she may be interested in some program. So what I do is I try to sit little far away and put the volume little low. She goes very close by and see it. Otherwise, we have never had any problem with that. But what is important is, see, remember one thing: most ladies, wife or whatever call it, ladies, they actually don't want you to be hanging around them all the time. This is a wrong feeling most people have. But when they need you, you should be there. Whether heaven turns hell also, don't bother about it. When the family needs you, you should be there. And just prove it 2-3 times, then they know that he will be there. Forget it. Let him do what he wants. That's probably the best way you can. Right. My children, of course, definitely. Recently, my son told me that when we were students, you didn't take us anywhere. We didn't go for holiday and all that. So I told him that, but you are not doing to your child also now. And that is because I am very busy with my work. I said, better, that's the same thing. I was also very busy. But that's not an excuse. I don't take it as an excuse. But sometimes it happened, which should not happen in the next generation at least.
Sir, coming to one more thing, that very important thing, you had a illustrious, fulfilling life. You had a very illustrious, fulfilling life. How do you want your student to remember you?
I always say one thing. If you write an epitaph, like after you're gone, you write something on the thing. Just write one word. Here lies a man who loved his students even more than his own children. That's all. The affection of my students is what. which I am getting in plenty, not only from developmental pediatricians or adolescent pediatricians, but those doctors whom I have taken classes in the first year. You remember, first year, after the ragging and all those period, they are so tense and all. At that time, I go and take a free class for 3 hours, continuously joking, all that. They can't believe a professor can come and do like this. But they remember. My sister in USA tell me, you don't teach pediatrics or what? Every student of you ought to remember only that first year class. I said, because that is the most, important period of their life. Pediatrics, anybody will teach. But the first time when they are in a medical college, they are all tense up. They don't know what to do. All sort of problems. They are very disturbed. And that is the time when I give that counseling talk as a joking way, in a very simple way, and that create an impression on them. The second one I would like to say is, recently one of the HOD told me one thing. So you always used to say, you specialize. How do you specialize? Let it be toenail of the right toenail. But you work on it for 5 years, you become a national expert. You work on it for 10 years, you will become an international expert. So, sir, I didn't listen to you at that time, but now I am realizing I lost the bus. This is important. Every member of the Department of Pediatrics should take up something. They should not leave general pediatrics. Continue in general pediatrics. You should take one specialty so that the department, anybody has a problem about that subject, you should be the person that coming. And that's what most of my department people are slowly trying to do that. If you remember the Chennai Institute of Child Health, that is one place where you have the specialization. Which specialization not at the cost of general pediatrics. You should be a general pediatrician, but you should also have some small interest in one particular subject. That will help you a lot. Now, if you're a developmental pediatrician, maybe in one branch of that. If you're a cardiologist in one branch of that, that also you can do. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. It was nice to know more in detail about you and your life journey from Trivandrum to CMC Ludhiana to Vapi Trivandrum and all over country. It is good learning from you, and you have created a lot of milestones in the Indian Academy of Pediatrics. So many chapters, so many new ideas, how to practice and how to progress. I am one out of all that I learned from you, that never leave any hope. Keep on working, and I'm still working. I have a different type of life because we migrated, then we had 84 problem, 1984 problem, then my back problem. But even then, when I met you, it was an inspiration in my life, and I have come up to here. Started Adolescent India, and then this Dr. Tuteja Talk Show. What I say that निगाहों में मंजिल साफ थी, बार बार गिरे. निगाहों में मंजिल साफ थी, बार बार गिरे, मगर गिर कर भी संभलते रहे. मगर गिर कर भी संभलते रहे. हवाओं ने कोशिश तो बहुत की, हवाओं ने कोशिश तो बहुत की, मगर हम वो चिराग थे जो अंधेरों में भी जलते रहे. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us time to Dr. Tuteja Talk Show.
You told about so many achievements of my life all throughout. He kept on saying that. I believe it is not my achievement. It is all God decided. It's all predetermined. I must have, God wanted me to do something, and I'm a great Shiva Bhakta. I believe that He has plans for me. Everything happened according to plan only. But of course, to make that, God can make plan for you, but you have to do it. Whenever I am in trouble, somebody has come to my help. There's a saying that God was walking around with you were walking around with somebody in the seashore, and there was only one pair of footsteps. So the man asked God, "Why is it that you left my side whenever I am in trouble?" So God said, "No, beta, I was carrying you on my shoulder. That's why." I believe in that statement so much. Whatever I have been able to achieve. And one other thing I think for students particularly should know, that when something doesn't work out, don't think that it is a failure. God is telling you, stop there. This is God is saying you that you take a turn. Stop there, take a turn. I have done as per the instruction throughout my life. That is a success. Success is not my hard work alone. Hard work is there, definitely, but much more that I have listened to God, the way He directed me, to go about. And anything you do in good intention will succeed. For example, before going to a counseling, session, I always pray first, because only if the child has good wishes, then only the idea will come to my mind. It will click in my mind. A new point, counseling point will click in my mind. So that is important. I think let's be humble. Let us be generous. Let's be nice to people, even to those who have not been kind to you. Because if they're not kind to you, it's not because they were bad. I think their destiny was like that. What can we do about it? Just forget it. That's all. I think that's a message I would like to leave.
Thank you so much, sir, being with us in this talk show. And I am sure that all the members of Dr. Tuteja Talk Show will listen to him and will learn so many things from our renowned teacher, Dr. M. K. Nair, sir. Thank you so much with us, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm leaving.
Yes, sir.